Hi everybody, it's Maureen with Coastal NC Living Real Estate, and I am here with Jason Holland,
Hello.
Movement Mortgage. Thank you for giving us some time, Jason. Give us the opportunity to speak with you, see your new office.
My pleasure.
Jason is in the Movement Mortgage office in Emerald Isle. They have a new location. Where's the address for this location?
We moved to 309 Mangrove Drive on Emerald Isle. It's right beside Flippers in the KMV Plaza.
Okay.
Moved here in November of 2019.
Excellent. All right, so I'm going to look down at my notes a little bit because I get forgetful, but really this is just an opportunity for us to talk a little bit with Jason, find out a little bit more about him and his role at Movement Mortgage and what Movement Mortgage can really offer to us as consumers and people purchasing and selling and buying and investing and all those
Absolutely.
wonderful things. So tell me, when did you get into being a mortgage broker?
I got into the mortgage business about 4 years ago. I came from a sales, finance, lending background. I actually spent about 10 years in a bank branch,
Okay.
managing branches for the last 5 of those 10 years between Eastern North Carolina and then down at the coast. My point in the banking career, I had grown about as much as I could grow within the bank without moving back to a big city.
Right.
Back towards Raleigh, back towards Charlotte, back office kind of setting, things like that. So I wanted something that would allow me to grow professionally, still engage with people, still engage with the public, and allow me to remain living where I love. So mortgage provided me that opportunity. I get to do what I know, do what I enjoy doing, engage with people on a daily basis, and remain here at the Crystal
And
Coast.
do it, and do it in a great
and do it
place.
at the beach.
And do it, well,
Yeah.
we're glad you're here.
Yeah, I love
Because
it.
as you know, in our environment, we have a lot of local restaurants. We're very eclectic here. It's good to have those resources here and have you be part of that community because you can speak to that.
It really is the best of all worlds.
Okay, so this is a little more. What's one of the most memorable experiences you can tell me, and since you've been with Movement and been in the mortgage side?
Probably, I get a very memorable experience every year, actually, around Christmas. Christmas is a big deal for me. I have kids. I love kids. It's a special, fun time. And every year I partner with local realtors, and we, again, partner with the Toys for Tots for the Marine Corps,
Mm-hmm.
and we have a Toys for Tots bike drive every year. And thankfully, I've made a lot of contacts throughout the years that I've been living at the beach, and we hold that bike drive every year, and we go through social media, flyers, email, things like that, and solicit for new bike donations for less fortunate children in the Carteret County area. And this thing has grown year over year. It's been going on for about 6-7 years now. I've been a part of it for 4, I think. And it just grows year over year. And I think last year we provided around 200 bicycles to less fortunate children in the
Well,
area. So
and I
really,
can attest to that because I was in here
Right.
and the entire back office was filled with bikes. And
Yeah.
if my memory serves me correctly, you had to bring in a professional truck
We did.
to load all of those bikes to get them where they needed so that they were there for
We did.
people on Christmas morning.
We had just south of, I think, just in my office to transport up to Beaufort, or down to Beaufort, around 90 bicycles. And thankfully I had a really good friend of mine who's in the vending business. He had a 25-foot box truck, so we
There
filled
you
that thing
go.
up and took it to Beaufort.
Yeah, I wasn't quite sure how I had this vision of you individually riding each one.
That's
That
an
could have
experience.
taken a while.
Yeah. That's an experience that gives back every year. I look forward to it every year. It's so much fun.
Well, and you do a great job with it, and there's a lot of people that benefit. So thank you for that.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to deviate for a second. I'm going to ask you, what are a couple of the things that are your favorite things to do being in this community, living in this area?
Oh gosh, that's a long list. But if I had to say, I moved my family down here about 7 years ago full time after visiting for a number of years, and I was really drawn to the community in a literal and a figurative sense. You know, it's just a great place to live. It's a great place to work. It's a great place to play, raise children. Awesome school systems here. So I spend a lot of my time. Some of my favorite things to do are engaging in the community. You know, socializing with family and friends. You know, frequenting the local businesses. You know, it's a little mini economy going on around here.
That's right.
And so many of us depend on each other for our livelihoods. I think it's important to engage with those people and let them know that that you support them and that they can count on you for support. So spend a lot of time out in the community, spending time with those people and getting to know new people as well. That's one of my favorite things to do.
And you do that well. And I
That's
can,
right.
I can
It's
attest.
fun.
There's
It's easy. It's
you're,
fun.
I know that you're being modest at this point because you could have rattled off 3 or 4 venues that you're actively engaged in for the community, for Toys for Tots, for various benefits. I'm going to tell a secret about you now that people don't know. Jason has another skill. It's a barbecue skill. And Jason has taken on the role and the responsibility for a lot of different people, doing various fundraisers and things to help people in the community. And he's that guy that spends 24 hours with pork butts, making sure that there's a beautiful barbecue experience the next day. So that's just one of the many things. What do you think are some of the greatest challenges that you're dealing with now as a mortgage broker?
Well, it's an everyday challenge. The biggest challenge is keeping up with market trends. You have to be educated so that you can educate. You have to be informed so that you can inform. So it is an ongoing challenge, an ongoing thing to stay on top of market trends, stay on top of rate trends, stay on top of new rules and regulations. Because if I don't, then I can't be an advocate to my realtor partners who I rely on heavily, and I can't be an effective advocate to my clients who basically are responsible for my livelihood. So it's a challenge or a task. It's a non-negligible task, if you will, to stay on top of those things, because I have to be an informed advocate so that I can advocate properly. If I don't have the right information, if I don't have up-to-date information, I'm not going to be effective in preparing my realtors and my buyers for what to expect, and the ultimate goal, which is to get clients in homes.
So let me ask you, what is something that you think that the public maybe doesn't know about you or Movement Mortgage? I mean, people have choices when they're looking at, getting a loan. Do they go to a local bank? Do they go to a credit union? Do they go to a broker? What do you think is something that is important that maybe the audience doesn't know specifically about Movement and about you?
That's a great question. When I decided to go into the mortgage business, just like many other professions, I had several choices. I had several choices of lenders. Just like realtors, there's a realtor on every corner. There's a mortgage lender on every corner. At my stage, I'm married. I have a wife. I have kids. I have a house. I have all these things. So I was very selective, knowing that wherever I went to work, I had to have the support and the tools, the resources to be successful. But I also wanted to find a company that aligned with my values as well. We talked earlier. I spend a lot of time out in the community. I spend a lot of time engaging with people. I spend as much time as I can giving back, kind of circling back around to the Christmas thing and the bikes and the fundraisers and things. I've always been a person that enjoys giving more than I do receiving. It makes me feel good to give. So when I went looking for another career and a company to start that career, I was very selective. I was very careful, and Movement Mortgage's values and mine align very closely. Their mission statement is to create a movement of change in the mortgage industry, corporate culture, and its communities. So Movement is very involved in their people. They're very involved in their employees. They're very involved in giving back to the community. It matched up pretty much parallel with my values. So Movement provided me the opportunity to do mortgage, to do something I enjoy doing, do something I know, to do it in a place that I love to live, and affords me the time and the resources to give back to the community as well. So Movement Mortgage was a perfect match. Always was, always will be.
They and I would encourage people when we wrap up and you see this interview, you can go to Park Bench, you can play this interview. You're going to see Jason and Movement Mortgage, their business page there, and other links. But I would encourage people to go on and to look at the site and to actually read the mission statement.
Absolutely.
Read what kind of company it is, and And there's a lot of things corporately that the company does that gives back to the community on a very broad level as well. So is there anything that you would like to share? Is there anything that you'd like to tell the audience that we haven't covered?
No, I just would like to thank everybody. Thank you for the opportunity, and thank everybody out there that's watching. Thank you for taking the time to take a look at it. I invite anyone, like you said, go to Movement Mortgage's website, go to my Movement Mortgage website, learn a little bit about the company, learn a little bit about me. If you want to go a little deeper dive, give me a call.
Well, thank you. I appreciate your
Thank
time. And make sure we go on to parkbench.com. We're at the Emerald Isle office, but you'll see this across a couple of different Parkbench sites. You'll be able to click to access Jason and Movement Mortgage. You'll be able to see updates and information. You'll be able to go across their venues. So we look forward to it. We're going to wrap this up, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.